Hello! So today I'm going to be talking about Birnam Wood by Eleanor Catton. This is the third Eleanor Catton book I have read, the first being The Rehearsal, which I absolutely loved, and the second being The Luminaries, which I thought was very good. In Birnam Wood, it's the hippies versus the billionaires. Based around themes of environmentalism, capitalism, collectivism, loving those isms, greed, ambition, power, and a kind of collective despair. The novel is set in New Zealand and based around a guerrilla gardening group called Birnam Wood. This activist collective plants crops where no one will notice. On the side of roads, in forgotten parks, and in neglected backyards. For years, the group has struggled to break even. Then Mira, the unofficial leader of Birnam Wood and founding member, stumbles across an answer, a way to set up their collective for the long term. A natural disaster has created an opportunity. A sizable farm seemingly abandoned just off of the side of a road from a town called Thorndike. However, Mira is not the only one interested in this piece of land. Enter Robert Lemoine, an enigmatic billionaire who has just snatched up the land for his own secret purposes. One day Mira is out scouting the land for its farming potential when she bumps into Robert Lemoine. Lemoine is instantly intrigued by Mira, her collective Birnam Wood, and their whole entrepreneurial spirit. He suggests to Mira that they can work this land and he will give Birnam Wood the backing they need to get started. But can they really trust him? Ooh. And from that point on, we have a clash of ideals and ideologies. Can these two opposing forces really trust each other? The other key players in the novel are Tony Gallo. He is an aspiring young journalist. He is a founding member of Birnam Wood, but he has been away for a few years teaching and travelling abroad, and he has just got back. We have the recently knighted New Zealand businessman Sir Owen Darvish and his wife Lady Darvish, who own the land that Lemoine wants to buy. And the final key player is Shelley, Mira's reluctant best friend who is secretly trying to leave the group. Now Shelley is actually the person who runs the day-to-day of Birnam Wood, the collective. She gets things done, she does the jobs that no one else wants to do. This really is a book of two halves. The first is a character study. We spend vast amounts of time on each key player. We really get to know them, their pasts, their views, their relationships. Everything is given a lot of time and we really get to know these characters. The first half of the novel is jam-packed with philosophical discussions that really test you, the reader's own views on things like climate change, collectivism, socialism, capitalism. And the plot in the first half moves very slowly. Something I think you are either going to love or hate. Personally, I loved it. And in the second half, things just ramp up. The book turns into this gripping psychological thriller. And things just keep escalating and escalating and escalating. So, what did I like and what didn't I like? What I liked so much. I loved how much time was taken to get to know these characters. You get to know them so well and they are just so beautifully brought to life. I love the politics, ideas and themes that this novel is exploring. In most traditional thrillers, we have this kind of good versus evil thing playing out. But in Birnam Wood, everything lives in the grey area. It keeps us, the reader, on our toes, but personally for me, it kept me questioning my own personal politics and views on the ideas explained, and also how sometimes a lot of my own views fall into that grey area. Now, I have no idea if I am in the minority, but personally, I loved the structuring of this book. I loved the split that's taking place, and personally, I didn't find that sudden shifting gears jarring at all. I was just as entertained with the first half as I was the second. One really made me think, and the other was really entertaining and also made me think. Eleanor Catton's writing is pitched perfectly for the story she's telling. It's not overly literary, allowing the pacing to keep moving, but at the same time it's written in a way that still enables you to finish a sentence and just stop and think. And also it's really funny at times. The satire at play is funny, so it just has this wonderful blend taking place. Now, my taste is very eclectic. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know I love sci-fi, I love fantasy, I love horror, but I also adore literary fiction. I just like reading everything. Now, I really do love literary fiction. I love literary fiction because it really makes you think about the world around you. It goes a little bit deeper. However, my one problem with literary fiction is that sometimes it can really sacrifice story for what it's trying to say. And if I just wanted ideas, I would read non-fiction. If I just wanted ideas, I would spend my life reading articles. But I love being entertained. I love being hooked into a story, being entertained, being thrilled, whilst at the same time thinking about the larger ideas of the world that I live in. And I think literary fiction that can do both, yeah, that's really what I'm looking for. And to me, this book does that. What didn't I like? One small tiny thing that I can't really go into too much detail about because of spoilers. It's to do with Lemoine's backstory. One detail is given a lot of emphasis, so I thought that it was going to come back into the plot somehow, but it didn't. So I was left questioning why we spent so much time on that one thing. But as said, that's just a tiny little gripe. Honestly, I thought this book was brilliant. I'm going to give it 5 stars out of 5, definitely up there with one of my favourite reads of the year. I feel like, I don't know why, but when I finished it, I just get the feeling that this book isn't going to make it onto the Booker long list. I know from a lot of people on BookTube that this keeps popping up, which is why I sort of bumped it up my list. But yeah, I don't know, I just get this feeling that it's not going to make the Booker long list, but I really, really hope it does. So out of everything I've read so far, I think I'm crossing my fingers that this one makes it onto the list. So there you go, that's my thoughts on Birnam Wood by Eleanor Catton. I thought it was brilliant. Have you read this novel? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please let me know in the comments below. And I want to say, as always, that I hope you're well, and thank you so much for watching.